Welcome back to Third Phase Moon. It's Blake Cousins, and we're doing a live radio show taking your calls from around the world in regards to the UFO phenomenon. And let me tell you, is it just me, or are you guys kind of in limbo right now? What's going on over the past couple days? It just seems like it's like the world just stood still. It's like that movie. You know, I'm just waiting for our alien friends to come down and, you know, make a big surprise and really shake things up, because let me tell you, when are we going to find out what's going to go on? I'm not exactly sure, but I do know this, that UFO sightings haven't stopped from around the world, and neither have the people's encounters. They've got a lot of things they want to share with us, and that's why we're opening up the lines tonight. And we were working on something, but we're getting a lot of emails like they just wanted to share their stories, and I think there's going to be a lot of good ones tonight. So buckle up, everybody. This is Third Phase Moon Radio. Give us a big thumbs up if you're joining us on the live YouTube premiere. Now, we're going to get to calls, but I just want to say we want to get to as many as we possibly can. So keep your UFO testimony, your description of the event, down to about 5 minutes, so we could get to as many callers as possible. So let's get to it. We're going to open up the lines, and we're going to get started with area code 760. You're live on Third Phase of Moon. How you doing tonight? You got a UFO sighting you want to share with us tonight?
Yes, hello?
Yeah, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hi, good. Well, I have a story, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Is it in regards to UFOs?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. Let's hear it.
It happened in the 1970s, and Ramona, California. It was a small country town, and we live kind of in the mountains, but there's like a canyon way back. Our property extends very far, and nighttime there was this energetic, it was so weird, electricity sound, and there was lights in the canyon in a counter-rotating fashion, kind of like you're looking through a kaleidoscope. It was beautiful, and in the middle you could see a shadow of like a bell, and it was very powerful. It was a very you could feel like a slight vibration in the ground. So my dad got a shotgun, and he walked out there, and 10 minutes later he came back, and he said it was just too bright. He couldn't get near it. The next day, we have a fruit stand in front of our house, and cars come up, and they buy fruits and vegetables. There's Ford, Chevys, they're beautiful maroon-looking Jaguar E-Type two-door. And that's very weird to see that come up, especially in the area we live in. Two guys came out, very well-dressed, very, very expensive suits, and they look like Spock, very pale face. The other guy looked kind of like Abraham Lincoln. He looked dead. Both of them, long ears. They didn't blink their eyes, and they came up to the fruit stand, and I was little, and I was standing there, and one of them said, "We're from outer space." It's nice. And they just stood there, and at least for 30 seconds, staring at us. They walked back in their car, and then they took off. Yeah.
So this is bizarre, because your dad approached this UFO with a shotgun, and then later on,
yes,
you get visited by these.
The very next day.
It sounds like the MIB, the Men in Black. They show up in a Jaguar. I love those Jaguar cars. They're totally sleek. I haven't heard of the Men in Black actually traveling or traversing around in a Jaguar, but it kind of makes sense. So what were they doing over there? Were they trying to intimidate you guys, or what?
I don't know. Before my dad died, I asked him about that. Did you see anything? He just saw the light when he started getting near that. The light was so bright he could not get further. That's all he said about that. Now that's what he said on his confession. And as for that, those guys, I think it had something to relate to that the night before. I don't know. We do have a military pathway, planes going through one of the bases that fly over us. But then again, I don't know if that had anything to do with it. And this is, I tell people this, I'm so confident in this, I would even take a polygraph. And because this just
sure.
did
Well,
happen.
we believe you. I believe you 100%. Let me ask you this. What was the expressions of these gentlemen that showed up in the Jaguar, and what their mannerism? Could you give me the color of the Jaguar again?
Like a maroon 2-door, beautiful. Looked like it just got waxed. Looked like it was brand new. Had a distinct, that European sound. Just looked weird, totally out of the ordinary, especially in the area we live in. And the impression that these guys had, it looked like if you ever saw a dead body in a coffin, it looked like dead people that with their eyes open. And their
That's
pupils,
scary.
Their eyes were very black.
Black eyes.
If you looked at like Spock or Abe Lincoln, that kind of like skeletal look, very pale skin, no color in the skin, very monotone, robotic voice. In a way, they look synthetic beings. They didn't look like human, even though they were human, I think. And then someone told me, well, maybe there's people playing a prank. And I said, well, what would they get out of that? Getting an expensive car, coming up with suits, putting makeup on. I said, no way. It would be, there's just no way.
Yeah, what would be the intention of somebody doing that for just a practical joke? I've never heard of anything like this. Let me ask you, some people are saying in the chat right here, Will Carr 666, he says it could be maybe hybrid humans from the tall grays, the MIBs.
Yeah, it could be. One thing I want to add, do you know those electrical boxes on the side of the sidewalk, those green boxes? If you ever leaned on one of those, that very buzzing sound, that finite sound, all the way on the property, when that thing landed the night before, we could feel that running through the house. And we have about 46 acres. And that was on the other end of the property. We could even feel that finite, that little, that like a buzzing into in the ground.
Like the whole atmosphere in the ground, it's electrified. Let me ask you.
I don't know if
so
the
your
military
dad
was
approached
something or what.
This craft with a shotgun. So he must have been frightened of this.
Well, my dad was he's a military man, and he's one of those old school guys that's not afraid of anything. But that night, I think it was something that he never experienced before. He said he tried to get as close as he could to it, and he said in his deathbed, he put his hand out in front of his face, and he said that light was so bright. So what was coming out of that, electromagnetic something, he just couldn't get further than when he was going.
No, it's incredible, this story tonight that we're hearing, and I love the call in. I appreciate you sharing this with us. It's pretty brave. And,
thank you.
Your dad's deathbed confession, he gave you more details of exactly what was going on, and then this MIB encounter, it's exactly textbook. And how did they leave? So they just kind of, these mysterious men, did they just walk back to their Jaguar, took off?
When they said we're from outer space, and they just stood there, both of them turned in unison. Like when their shoulders turned, the others turned at the same time. And it's like, you ever see those, the military, the parades where the men do the walk and the legs are the same movement as every other soldier. It was kind of like
the
that.
sidestep.
Yeah, it was very perfect. They were very perfect. The way they were dressed was perfect. I didn't know anything about clothing then, but it looked like something they were wearing, Armani or Chi something. They're very, very expensive looking. And then they got into their two-door Jag and just took off. And that was it. Never saw them again.
You know, it's interesting. When the movie The Men in Black came out with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, I was expecting that they're going to keep it like a serious movie, like these encounters. These are frightening encounters. These Men in Black have this mannerisms that seem otherworldly, and then they kind of just made it a big comedy, and the Men in Black were the good guys, and I just didn't. These guys just twisted the story of reality.
Yeah, they were very weird looking, and their ears were long. They had long ears for some reason. It's just very weird looking. Anyways, that's my story.
You know, that's incredible. Appreciate you calling in. You be safe out there, and if anything else happens, you see anything, you let us know. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. I enjoy your show. You have a great show. Thank you.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. Well, that was a great first caller. Let me tell you, that's what we like right here at Third Phase. You know, detailed stories. His father told his son on his deathbed of why he approached this craft. This is what we all want right here at Third Phase Moon, and I think we're getting the best testimony from around the world. That's why Third Phase of the Moon is the top UFO channel in the world, because we deal with the public directly, and we just do it. And it's a great thing. Let's get to more callers. People are lining it up. Let's get to area code 757. No. You're live right now on Third Phase of the Moon. Welcome to the show.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Hey, good. How are you? I'm a huge fan.
Great. I'm doing great. Hey, thanks for calling in to Third Phase. I appreciate it. Where are you calling in from, and how long have you been watching Third Phase?
I'm calling in from Raleigh, North Carolina, and I've been watching Third Phase of the Moon for about 2 years now.
All right. Well, welcome. What's on your mind tonight, besides everything else?
Well, I kind of... Right, except besides everything going on in the world, yeah. Well, yeah. I first have to give a shout out to my friend. We watch Third Phase of the Moon together all the time. He actually lives out in Oahu. He's also a big fan.
Absolutely, go for it.
For sure. All right, Todd Lear, what's up? We made it.
Hey, right on, Todd Lear.
Yeah,
from the Big Island, Aloha, from the Big Island to the North Shore of Oahu. We grew up over there. So, right on,
there
Todd.
There you go, yeah.
Go ahead,
yeah.
what's your story? Thanks.
For sure. It's nothing too crazy. I was with a buddy of mine, and we were down by a lake in Raleigh, and we saw these really bright flashes in the sky, and then over the tree line above the lake, we saw this one light up, like kind of slowly ignite. And then about 9 or 10 more lights ignited around that one, forming a disc. And then it kind of started to like lay at an angle and fly side to side at 35-degree angle, just unnaturally. It was mind-blowing still to even talk about it. It was crazy. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
So let me ask you: was it military reverse engineered technology from alien beings and one of ours, maybe weather phenomenon, or what do you think? Otherworldly?
I can almost certainly say that it was not weather phenomenon. Seeing how the lights lit up kind of in unison around the disc, it didn't seem like a anomaly in the weather per se. As far as military crafts go, I can't say too much on. We didn't hear a sound in the sky, which was kind of our first instinct to, that something was a little off. But we didn't hear a sound in the sky, and we've done a lot of research on crafts, and we haven't found anything that would match that same light pattern.
did you feel any kind of maybe static electricity in there? Or like our last caller, we get a lot of callers saying that they feel this. Maybe they don't hear anything, but they sense a vibration.
Absolutely. I would say it was, I mean, you know, as cliche as this sounds, it was definitely a vibe change in the air. Like your hairs would stand up, and like I've never been so frozen to a spot and just completely in awe of something. Like we couldn't look away. We couldn't talk to each other. We didn't even like nudge each other. We just both knew, and we were both just like transfixed on this thing in the sky.
That's crazy. I wish I was there. We've had our own experiences, and some experiences are like they're just this dead silence, and people are just in shock and awe. But when we had our close encounter with this TR-3B, it came really close to us. It descended down upon us. We were like screaming. We were jumping up and down. I was screaming like a little girl. I swear to God, it's the greatest moment of my life.
I can't imagine. Yeah. I'd be so excited. That would be, if it was closer, we would have been, you know, scrambling around, jumping for joy. I can't imagine.
Hey, well, I appreciate you calling in. Thanks for sharing your experience, and you know, have you that camera ready. You never know when you'll see one of these things again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I love your show. Keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate it. And Todd over there in Oahu. Big shout out from the Cousins brothers right here on the Big Island. What's that, Brett? Say hi to Johnny Angel for us. He's a lifeguard over there at Sunset and Rock Piles. All right. Okay.
For sure.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks so much.
All right. We're having fun tonight, and I'm hoping you guys are enjoying it. We got a lot of calls coming in, and if you guys are enjoying this on the live YouTube and all the chats going on, appreciate all the support. Give us a big thumbs up. It really, really helps. Now let's get to this caller. Area code 442 has been holding on, and I appreciate people holding on. Hello, 442. You got a little noise going on?
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. It's kind of windy out here. My name is Danny Dominguez. I live in Indio, California. I'm a big fan of your show. I watch. Okay, so my first story is when I was 7 years old back in 1990. I was riding my bike during sunset, and I saw this purple orb just sitting in the sky, and it was pretty big and pretty bright. And I stared at it because I've never seen a purple light. And then it, about 20 seconds later, turned orange. Then 20 seconds later, turned green. And then sat there for a while. Then it went south for about 4 seconds, and then sat there again. And then it just kept going north very slowly till it went towards 29 Palms. Very strange experience. And after that, I had nightmares until I was about 14 years old about UFOs.
You know, it's interesting when you have these encounters, which I did when I was, around 10 years old. My brother and I witnessed it, but that same night, I had this crazy dream. I don't know, it felt like almost a nightmare, but it's so amazing that I was being abducted by a UFO, and the huge flying saucer was aiming my dad and myself up to the craft, and it was unbelievably bright. It's so vivid. I don't know if it's real, but tell me. So you?
Well, I didn't have any like. I think maybe for a while, or maybe they just. I don't know. Maybe when you're a child, it seems to affect you more. I was only 7 years old, and my second story is when I was in 2015 when my father died. The very next day, I was just on my computer, and I lived in La Quinta, and my window faces the mountain ridge. And I look up, it's sunset, and there's this like shimmering light that's just dancing around very quickly, and it's just moving around in random directions, and then it just vanished. And I wasn't sure if that was my dad saying goodbye to me, or I don't know what it was, but it was very strange. Very strange.
Well, I appreciate you sharing the stories. Most people out there are a lot of people that believe in UFOs. They just haven't seen them for themselves. And it's really cool that a lot of people, I swear, like I think it's 55% of people believe that there's UFOs out there. And I think the percentage of people that have actually seen them with their own eyes is probably down to 20%. So they have this faith that they believe their friends when they say they've seen something. But you're a lucky man. 2 UFOs. I'm sure you're going to have another encounter very soon.
Oh, no. I've had one more. This was the strangest one. I was approaching a red light, and right before I stopped, I saw 5 super bright blue lights in a straight line. And I couldn't stop staring at them. I'm like, what? I mean, they were like super bright and blue in a straight line, 5. Then I'm at the red light, and I look behind me, and there's a cop, so I get a little startled. And then the light's green, and I didn't go, so I was like, oh, he's going to pull me over. But then so I pulled out late, and then someone runs the red light and misses me by an inch. The cop goes after that guy, and then when I look back up, the lights just vanished. That shook me up. I was kind of scared that whole night. I was not scared, but like startled, like just in shock.
So do you think the cop noticed this?
No, I don't think the cop noticed it. I think he just saw that guy run the red light, and he just went after him. You know, but I mean, they just,
you never know when it's going to happen.
Right. And I was just one night, I was headed to my girlfriend's, and in my opinion, they saved my life, because if I would have gone when the light turned green, that guy would have hit me.
That's what I was going to say. I was thinking there's some intervention going on from an off-world vehicle.
Okay, Blake, I got to go. The bus is picking me up. Nice talking to you.
Okay, man. Be safe out there. I appreciate it. You know, people are on the road. They're calling. You could hear this is live, and hopefully drive safe. You know, did an alien craft actually prevent this guy from getting in an accident? Well, I hope so. I'm sure these beings out there, they're good guys, in my opinion. If they were bad, they would have done something a long time ago. Or maybe they've already done it. You just never know. Maybe we are one of them already, and that's okay with me. I think there's a intergalactic DNA code that has existed since the dawn of our universe, and it's spreading out throughout the universe. You know, these beings out there, they're much like us, in my opinion. With the genetic code, they breed like us. They see, they have fingers, they walk. You know, they have 2 eyes. They have 2 ears. You know, they're basically almost humanoid, in my opinion. And all the animals and all the life in the universe could be very like kind to our own Earth. So, you know, it's really cool. And let me tell you what's coming up this week. We got some really cool updates. You know, Paula Asteria, she's been on assignment, and she's visited some locations that's going to blow you away. She's been to South America, and she has access to these pyramids, Mexico, Cuba. She made it to Cuba, and she's got some exclusive videos and interviews with the people, the locals, and what they think, if there was the star people that intervened in building some of these megalithic pyramid structures that exist in Cuba, Mexico. It's going to be exciting. And then we also have some really fun stuff coming up in regards to Dr. Greer, I guess Demi Lovato, Dr. Greer, they're in Arizona, Flagstaff, coming up on the 20th. And we're going to try and get our correspondents, Goof On, Richard Giordano, and Doc Skinner to show up and see if they could participate in a CE5 event. I guess Demi and Dr. Greer are teaming up. They're going to be doing a CE5 event, and Third Phase of Moon is going to cover it. And we've got a new trailer coming up really soon. And let me tell you, we've been working on it to get it out to the world. It's one of the most important documentaries that people are about to witness for themselves, and that's Countdown to Disclosure, the secret technology behind the Space Force. And we're tentatively have our set date in February, but we're going to be dropping our trailer very, very soon, and we're going to be giving you some behind-the-scenes and uncut, never-before sequences from the film, the documentary, Countdown to Disclosure. We got Dr. Stephen Greer in there, Michael Sala, Jim Goodall, among some Easter egg surprises that will blow you away. And we also got John Paul Blake in there as well. and the brothers. You know, you got the Cousins brothers in there showing some incredible UFO videos. So countdown to disclosure. Get ready for the drop on the trailer. It's going to be coming out very soon right here at Third Phase of the Moon. I want to thank everybody for joining us on this live premiere. It's been my pleasure taking the calls from around the world. We'll be doing it real soon. Don't fret, if you didn't get in the call this time, we'll get you next time. Keep your eyes on the skies, everybody, and if you capture anything amazing, upload that video to YouTube, copy-paste that link, and send that link to my email. It's in the description below. I want to see your UFO videos. We'll share it to the world. Blake Cousins. We'll see you next time.